When you see the way it is automating, a lot of low-end jobs are going to get completely obsolete. You don't need as many employees as you needed, right? Like for example, if you wanted to hire 100 people, now you can do the same thing with 20 people. So is there going to be a problem with employment? Yes. Will it be a permanent problem? No. Right? So there's a transition period, how humans can work with machines. So that is going to be the future. The future is going to change. There'll be a significant change in the way we do work. AI needs humans. I've been in this field for 20 years. People are like reluctant to adopt the technology. So we need to have a balanced approach. We need humans, but humans have to learn how to use tools. We need to have a new education system. That is the reason for Hue Learn, which I've started.
Hue Learn.
Okay. Human Ultimate Evolution. It's about how to bring non-linear exponential learning into classrooms.
So you hired interns, youngsters, Gen Zs, right?
So this is back in 16, 17. Hired only interns and then trained them on AI. I kept doing it, and today I'm proud. 50, 60 people today, their careers have transformed and they are in top positions in Google, Tesla, like Amazon.
I think you are not only setting organizations, you're also giving torch to careers actually, right?
Yeah.
Welcome. Shivaram today, who is basically not in one organization, he's doing multiple organizations. Something I'm talking about, who is in AI from some years, not just in ChatGPT era. So Shivaram, why don't you introduce yourself, right? And thanks for coming for AI Tank.
Thanks, Vikas. Thanks for calling me here. So I've been in the field of AI for the last 20 years.
Wow.
So normally what happens is people, they jump into the bandwagon of what is in the hype, right? Fortunately for me, I was in the field of AI for quite some time because I wanted to understand how human brain works. And as an engineer, the best thing I could do is get into artificial intelligence. My journey started in IIT Delhi. I was doing my thesis on text mining and things like that.
Okay.
And then from there, I joined investment banking, worked in Bank of America, Societe Generale, and various other companies for 10 years. Then I started my own startups.
A tech person moving to investment banking and then getting to AI-based entrepreneurship. I think, this would be amazing, Shivaram, right?
Yeah. The way I look at it is, I felt when I was working in big companies, I felt there are a lot of inefficiencies and they're kind of slow in taking decisions and moving fast with the latest technology. And I saw a lot of startups doing amazing work. There was this maker movement going on in the US. This is back in 2012, 13, so on. I started my own lab in my house, a robotics lab. I started experimenting with a lot of latest technologies and things like that. Then that inspired me, that gave me a lot of confidence saying, okay, I can start my own companies and I can run them. So from there I started my first company, I started a robotics company for schools.
Robotics companies for school, that's amazing. Yeah.
So I wanted to train all the students on the fundamentals of robots, how to build and so on. Not this Lego just, connecting, but to understand the fundamentals. One mistake I did was I was trying to work and then do the things, right? So then I learned this is not going to work, and then I quit my job and started my second set of companies. Okay?
So I want you to continue your journey, but maybe I'll ask, it's a very interesting question. Someone who has quit and started his company, it's not easy. And I know how difficult it is basically. Mostly we are service and employee mindset organization, right? What were the challenges and how you were able to overcome that?
So when I was working in all these large organizations, I saw there are a lot of talented people in India. They go outside India and they shine. Within India, we are considered a service industry, as you rightly said, and we do bug fixes, right? At least 10 years back, it was even more massive.
Still it is the case.
For me, it was, I took it as a challenge. I wanted to show that we can do high-end technology work right out of India, and I was not worried that much about how will I raise investment. I was like, dekha jayega, let's see.
Wow. So get into flow is something which you were, right? And I think you are into spiritual thing, probably seems like that.
Yeah, I do a lot of meditation.
Oh, wow.
You too. You also seem to be by seeing the person you can make out, right? I jumped in and then I thought, okay, let's build the parachute when you're on the way down. And then I am a person with first principles, and I give a lot of importance to my own determination and willpower, gut feeling basically. So I thought, let's try it. So I started a services company for AI services, which funded all these products.
This is amazing, and maybe I'll talk to you, Shivaram. In fact, I'll tell. So I do give consulting to a lot of early startups, a lot of youngsters come to me and they are fully focused towards a product which I feel they should be. But at the same time, I do say the same thing, right? Fuel your energy, get the money from your service and fuel it for a product actually. That's amazing, Shivaram, what you have done.
Yeah, so that's how I ran my company.
Now we do the same.
So Curl Analytics was the name of the company when I started it, and then I had subsidiaries which were doing very niche things, like in the field of genomics, in the field of drone delivery, the field of you name it, weather forecast, urban planning, and things like that, right? Everything driven by AI, right? And I had one more thing, like I didn't want to hire people from industry whose mindset has already changed. Right? So I hired interns, like youngsters.
I think we have some commonality, Shivaram, actually, right? When you see sitting in xTransMatrix, I do not deal with my age people. I'm 51. So I think, it's very common. I didn't know about that. So you hired interns, youngsters, Gen Zs, right?
So this is back in 2016-17. Hired only interns and then trained them on AI. Okay, I used to literally sit next to them and then code in front of them.
Wow.
And show this is how it is done, this is how you need to think and all those things. I kept doing it, and today I'm proud that I've come out of my first set of companies. But I'm proud that at least minimum 50-60 people today, their careers have transformed and they are in top positions in Google, Tesla, like Amazon.
I'm
across the world.
so happy to listen this thing, Shivaram. I think you are not only setting organizations, you're also giving torch to careers actually, right? That's what I understand.
So, and we built few things which are first time in the world. I should say 4 things which were first time in the world. And that is kind of that's what makes me feel happy. In terms of commercial success, we were not that great. We were running the company, we were generating few $1 million revenue and all those things. That was good, but not like the success which we could have got. But I'm happy that whatever we did was really good. And then back in 2021, I read Autobiography of Yogi from Paramahamsa Yogananda. That deeply touched me and I became spiritual. Before that, I was spiritual but in a different way. And then I started doing meditation from 2021. That led me to stop doing what I was doing and restart my career.
No, I think, Shivaram, this is something even I have a personal thing. I am doing meditation since 2013 actually.
Wow.
Right. I think I would like to say, as you are saying, I think all the entrepreneurs, I think meditation is very nice one thing which can help you manifest some of the things actually, right? Which you could execute, right? And that's what probably you said. You are absolutely okay to manifest in a way. Actually,
exactly. So I'll just tell you a few more benefits of meditation to link to this, right? In 2020, when the COVID hit, I was running 4 companies parallelly and I was like very much stressed. I was like, what is going to happen to that company? Will I be able to pay salaries and so on? This brought in huge amount of pressure and I was in huge stress. I could feel that physically I am not well, right? Something is happening. I can't sleep properly and all those things. Then when I started doing meditation, I did a lot of exercise. Okay, it helped. But when I started doing meditation, it gave me full control over my body. Okay, first thing is body, and then it gave full control over my mind. So slowly, I started thinking in a calm way. Okay, taking decisions in a calm way. And also manifesting things slowly, right? In the beginning it was slow, and later you will learn how to manifest faster, right? So that's when I came out of my set of companies and restarted to make people stronger from the inside. So I feel that people should have strong educational background. That is, they should know how to learn rather than
how to learn. Shivaram, with this probably I would like to get you in, right? With what do you see with the youngsters going through with a kind of a change specifically happening with this industry, and this is a very big change so how you want to connect it actually. And I'm sorry, I have just dissected where I probably thought I can throw a question actually towards that.
So today, if you see, AI is progressing at a very rapid pace and it is automating a lot of things. And when you see the way it is automating, a lot of low-end jobs are going to get completely obsolete. Low-end jobs. Mid-level jobs, you don't need as many employees as you needed, right? Like for example, if you wanted to hire 100 people, now you can do the same thing with 20 people, right?
So do you mean to say that low level I do understand, right? Anything with respect to production support, all those kind of a thing will probably go. Some agents will be there. And then when you are talking about maybe a lot of management support, a lot of reporting dashboard is also automatically happening, right? Yeah, okay. So that's something going off, right? Yeah. Okay, then?
The mid-level is also going to suffer a lot because you need humans, you need people, talented people, but you don't need the number what you needed earlier.
Scale of that number will reduce, right?
Yeah. So is there going to be a problem with employment? Yes. Will it be a permanent problem? No.
No.
Right?
That's
so
great.
there's a transition period, right? So where people will figure out what humans can do, what machines can do. Right?
And how humans can support or enable
support and enable, and how humans can work with machines, right? So that is going to be the future. How we need to teach people, the entire education system has to change.
Yes.
We need to teach people how to use tools, okay? How to effectively use tools and increase your productivity, okay? People are already talking about one-man unicorns and so on, right? It is possible.
It is possible.
It is possible. And 2 weeks back, I did a series of night outs just to explore how good the latest state of AI is. Can I have a lot of experience building companies. I have like 12 companies or whatever I've built. But I wanted to see a person like me, can I build a product by myself, like alone, one person? And
product by one person. Wow.
Product by one person. Okay, so it sounds unreasonable, right?
I'll come to a question actually.
I did it in a week. Okay, yes. 1 week. So I was so shocked. I was like doing the math. I was like, normally it takes like 6 months, top developers, 5-6 really smart guys working, because I have built so many products in my past journey. And the level of sophistication required, the level of UI UX required, the level of database integration, security, cybersecurity, AI required, everything. All of it I could do it in a week. Okay, maybe maybe other people can probably take less time or more time. But what I'm saying is it possible for a person to build an end-to-end product today? Yes, it is possible.
So Shivaram has just now unveiled one thing which is very nice and which is probably product by one person, right? Which he has himself, executed. Shivaram, I'll just connect this thing with another question which I do say to large organizations, right? As you know a little bit, I'm someone who are still giving advisory and consulting to large organizations, right? And I have dealt with large teams. Mm-hmm. And I do say them, and you confirm it all, that your large teams will be very small. You will be working with multiple agents working for 1 or 2 people actually, right, together, and that will be doing right. So how you would like to basically, right, give that emphasis?
So the future is going to change, and there will be a significant change in the way we do work, right? That doesn't mean we don't need people. AI needs humans. Okay, I've been in this field for 20 years. Some people go overboard, say, oh, everything will be done by AI and so on. Some people are like scared, and the other side, people are like reluctant to adopt the technology and so on. So we need to have a balanced approach, right? We need humans, but humans have to learn how to use tools. The productivity is going to increase significantly of every country, all the people. Okay. Along with that, we need to have a new education system. That is the reason for Hue Learn, my company which I've started.
Hue Learn, okay.
HUE, Human Ultimate Evolution, Hue Learn. Okay. So Hue Learn is about how to bring non-linear exponential learning into classrooms.
Okay. Wow. So you mean to say that you are also into EdTech?
Yeah.
And that is in the classroom?
In the classroom, right now we are focusing on corporate trainings.
Sure.
But we are coming into K-12 as well. So what we are doing is we are bringing the principles of neuroscience, right? In neuroscience, there are a lot of techniques which can help us harness different parts of the brain. And by using the knowledge and using latest AI technologies to create personalized content, we can actually trigger different parts of the brain in a very optimal way and make people retain longer, understand better, make them critical thinkers, and they can become exponential learners, right? That's what we need, exponential learning.
I think this is amazing, Shivaram. So Shivaram, anybody who comes to me, and I'm also very similar to you, I think we have a very common persona. I do speak about future of work and future of education actually. And I do say to all the youngsters that if I am going to hire someone, I am going to see the learnability. That's one skill I am looking for actually, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you are saying, that you know how to enhance that part of for an individual.
Exactly.
How you do that?
So it is a process, right? So as you rightly said, learnability will be something which will be measured to hire people in the future for all you're doing it, you're ahead of the curve, but everyone is going to do that, because you cannot expect a person to know a particular skill and do the work, because tomorrow the skill required is going to change. You need to learn new skill. So that learnability gap, the gap between the skill required for the future and the current skill the person has, if that person cannot attain that, you cannot hire that person. It's as simple as that, right? So what we do is we bring in a methodology. We call it, so pedagogy is way we teach, right? So we call it Hue pedagogy. So what we do is, there is a way you do the classes. In the class, the way you bring in the content, okay? We need to bring in, the way of content should be triggering different parts of the brain. The most important thing is you impact the forebrain, where a person thinks, midbrain, where person interacts with other people, engagement, communication, so reinforcement, by doing, and so on, and hindbrain. Hindbrain activation happens when you are surprised by something, or you create a disequilibrium and things like that, right?
So I don't know about your product or anything. So I'm also someone who has been basically, designing workshops for large corporates, right? As I have my own product academy and all. And so our content used to be 10-12 minutes, very small. A lot of collaboration. I used to give them canvases to do together. And then I used to use Kahoots and questions to surprise them all together. I don't know. Am I in the right path?
You are in the right track.
I don't know this science, by the way.
So I'll tell you the science.
You told me that.
Even I didn't know the science. It was working.
I have no theory knowledge why I'm doing it, but this is what I do it.
Okay. So I'll tell you how the learning happens. Okay. Imagine whatever you learn in the class is filled into a small cup, probably that size, right? This size. It's called working memory. It's
working memory.
Working memory. You would have heard this stuff, right?
Yes.
So it is the memory which you can hold when the session is going on, class is going on, right? So our aim is not to overfill it, okay? And over time to increase the size of the working memory, right?
Right.
But at the same time, you can access different parts of the brain and store the information, so that when the person sleeps, that's when the connections are made. White matter grows. So what is white matter? So in your brain you have neurons, which when you see it, it looks like gray part of the cell. And then there are connections between neurons, which is called the white matter. Each neuron connects to the other neuron. That's where the learning is, right? More the white matter growth, more the learning.
Okay.
So now if you are triggered white matter growth in different parts of the brain, the same information is mapped in different places. So you understand in a holistic way.
Is it something like AI?
It is like AI.
It is like AI, right?
AI is actually doing it in an artificial way.
Artificial way. This is a normal, organic way. This is what you are trying to say. That's what you enable. Shivaram, that's great. I think I was not knowing about that. I do know neuron things, and my meditation is specifically for doing that. So are you trying to say that, with the approach, with the, whole methodology what you have, there is a possibility that even at subconscious level, right, that learning happens and it expands and self-learning and, right? Wow.
So just think about it, right? People say you should do affirmations, right? Affirmations helps you program your subconscious, right? And that too during sleep time, is just before the sleep and waking up like as soon as you wake up. So here what we are doing is we are bringing the knowledge in a multiple perspective kind of way and reinforcing it multiple times within the session. That leads to multiple layers of this white matter growing. That increases the chances of remembering longer, remembering in a holistic way, application, and social way of learning. Way of learning is important.
I would honestly, this is a podcast, but I would love to call you for my whole team. You should basically talk about that. Actually, that's amazing, and I think I would love listening to you. Not once, multiple times actually. I could right now feel about that. That's great. So you did mention few things actually to youngsters. You did said that, learn your tools. Shivaram, I learn one tool every day.
Very good.
Okay, this
Very
is what
good.
my motto is. I'm trying my best that one new tool I try to learn every day actually, right? What you really wanted to say to parents? Because I'm sure you know the challenge, and challenged what I have also seen with youngsters is even a lot of educated parents, the acceptance is, they are still looking for those high-tech companies, which I mean is investment banking and all, right? What do you want to say to parents?
So the main thing I want to tell parents is focus on teaching fundamentals to your children, right? If their fundamentals are strong and if they know how to learn, then they are prepared for the future. Okay?
How to learn.
How to learn and fundamentals. These are the two things. So in Hue Learn, we have something called as Hue Fundamentals. We are creating this program, right? We don't want to go and compete with someone and say, okay, we are going to teach you how to get 100 marks in some board exam and things like that. That is okay. There are a lot of companies out there which are doing it. They are doing it for good. Let them do it. We are looking at, are you really understanding the concept? Do you know actually how to apply it? It may be maths, it may be physics, it can be AI, robotics, whatever, right? Do you really understand it? And that's what we are bringing into the table, right?
Is this product already in the market? Is it this product which is B2C, B2B? How it is?
So there is a B2B component which is already there. So what we are doing is we are going to large corporates and saying, okay, you have your content, right? Can you bring it on our platform? We'll multiply the things by X, right? How do we do that? By bringing all these neuroscience concepts, modifying the way the content is given, adding new things into it, subtracting things like that.
So this is a platform, right? And let's assume if I have a content specifically for your knowledge, right? We do have a lot of data annotation work. We do have a lot of AI prompt engineering work, right? Which needs my new employees to learn quickly, right? Mm-hmm. Because everything is different.
Yeah.
So which means you mean to say that I am also having some LMS, which I have bought, right? So instead of I am there, I go to your platform, there is a possibility of this is something which could in place automatically. Is that what you meant? So
our LMS, we don't call it LMS but LMS, using the word LMS helps people to understand. So we use LMS. So Hue Play is our LMS. Okay. Hue Play. So it helps you in playing the courses and classes and so on.
Playing the courses and classes. I am understanding where you are going. Absolutely.
Okay. And then we have Hue Create for creating the content.
Okay. So Hue creates a content. Hue Play is and Play is probably the
so we make it as immersive as possible. We are bringing the concept of activities. So we already have multiple activities within the session. Like we are taking the session. In between, you are you come out with this activity and you have to do that activity, right? So we are coming out with huge, powerful activities which students can do within the class. So what happens is typical class is one-way communication. The facilitator
mostly teacher to communication.
Right. But the great teachers, all the great teachers,
they
have
the
two-way, right?
Yeah.
So how do we kind of bring it to masses, right? You cannot have great teachers everywhere, right?
Yeah, everybody is different. Yeah.
So somehow we need to break that. So what we did was we brought in a concept of activities, and these activities make people think during the class about what is being taught, and they have to interact and work and so on.
I use Kahoot as one of a tool specifically, right, to bring activities. But that's amazing. I think what. Of course, post this podcast, I will talk about certain things which we could do for our organization. That's nice. Tell me one thing, right? What you really want to. So I think what you want to talk to your youngsters, right? I don't know your age. I think you seems to be mid 40s.
41.
Yeah. 41, right? I'm 50, right? Of course, our generation is there, but at the same time, what do you really wanted to say to youngsters actually, right?
Okay. So to youngsters, I would say be focused on certain things. There is too much distraction out there today. The information overload. Earlier, when we were studying, we had to go to library, find a
Yes,
book, and
yes,
learn something.
yes.
But it's so easy to learn today. You can go on YouTube and probably become expert in any field you want. Okay, that's
Of
how
course.
easy it is, and it's free. But the thing is, at the same time, somehow the nature has created distractions to balance it out, right? That is the reason you're not seeing all experts today. And that distraction is so much, it's so easy to get into that and lose track of what you want to do. Okay, first thing everyone should do is to have a goal in life. Okay, a long-term goal, okay, and a mid-term and short-term goal. So your all your goals should lead to your long-term goal.
Right.
It should not be like, okay, your long-term goal is something and your short-term goal is something else, right? It should not be in the opposite direction or anything of that sort. And then every day focus on that goal, work towards it. Okay, work step by step towards it, and anything is possible. So at least this is my mantra. Nothing is impossible.
Believe, yes,
okay?
I believe.
If we put our mind is very powerful, but it is highly distracting, right? If we teach our mind how to focus, and then we focus on one thing, then we can achieve it, and so on. So I would say all of you to keep your mind open, think big. Thinking small has never helped anyone, right? Great people have thought big ideas, they try to do massive things, and over time they achieve it, right? And if you are inclined towards meditation, please do meditation.
I think, Shivaram, I'm so thankful for basically talking about these things. And to all my audience, I really wanted to say, I met Shivaram I'm very truthfully saying, half an hour before.
Yeah.
And to me, it is very clear that one podcast will not be enough to talk to Shivaram, right? Shivaram did also mention about that there has to be some content data which should be kept actually. So with this, Shivaram, is it okay? We can have more talks. I really
Sure.
wanted to do a series with you probably, right? And that's
Sure.
something seems like
Yeah.
more interesting actually, right? Yeah.
Like, I can talk about AI, spirituality.
Yes.
The combination where I've started a foundation on that, like, a non-profit for spirituality and AI. So AI and education, AI and health, these are the things which I'm passionate about, and 2 of my companies are doing that. We can have a series.
Thank you very much, Shivaram. Thanks
you.
for coming here. Right?
Thank you, Vikas.
Shumay, it ran perfect. Don't worry, they'll cut. It ran perfectly fine.
Okay.
You're happy with that,
I'm
right?
happy.
Yeah. I'm very happy. I think a lot of things which.
This is on only, right?
They will do that, right? Yeah. Guys, hi, welcome. Guys, take it. It went well. हमारा काफी सिमिलर पर्सोना है. आपको समझ में आई बात? आपको समझ में आया मैं क्वेश्चन कर सकता हूँ रहा आपसे. आई विल लुक फॉर योर प्रोडक्ट क्योंकि हमारे भी मुझे इनफैक्ट आइए मैं आपकी बात करता हूँ.